We'll begin our next unit taking a look at right triangle trigonometry. And trigonometry, which sounds like kind of a scary word when you're in algebra, if you break it down into its word parts, tri is 3, gon is sides, metry is measure. So we're talking about 3-side measure triangle measurement. And in particular, when it comes to triangles, we can measure angles and we can measure sides. The ancients, remember, learned everything by observation. And what they eventually found was for a consistent angle in a triangle, it didn't matter how big or small the triangle was, as long as the ratio of the sides was the same, that always represented sides that made the same angle. And we now use that in applications, for instance, things like indirect measurement. If we can't get to the top of an object to measure it, say for instance a tree or a light post, we can use trigonometry and these ratios to be able to come up with those values. So it turns out there are actually 6 ratios possible of the 3 sides in a right angle triangle. And we name those as trigonometric functions. And they are sine, which we abbreviate sin, cosine, which we abbreviate cos, and tangent, which we abbreviate tan. And if you look at your calculator on your phone, or if you have a hardware calculator, a TI-30 or other scientific calculator, you'll notice those buttons with those abbreviations. If you didn't know what they were before, well, now you do. And it turns out that if we take those ratios and we invert them, the inverse of sine is the cosecant, CSC. The inverse of cosine is the secant, SEC. And the inverse of tangent is the cotangent, COT. Each of these represents a particular pair of sides making a ratio. So if we use that, what looks like a circle with a line through it, it's a Greek letter theta. And that's a variable that we use to stand for an angle measure. So we say let theta be an acute angle of a right triangle. The 6 trigonometric ratios of theta are defined this way. So sine is taken by finding the length of the side opposite that angle and dividing it by the length of the hypotenuse. Opposite meaning across from. The cosine of theta, that ratio is made up by taking the side length of the side that's adjacent or next to the angle and dividing that by the hypotenuse. The tangent of theta is the opposite length divided by the adjacent length. So remember, the hypotenuse is always the longest side in any right triangle. It's always directly across from the right angle. If you take a look at cosecant, secant, and cotangent and compare them with their inverse pairs, sine, cosine, tangent, you can see that they're just inverted, turned upside down. So the ratios in the second column, reciprocals of the ratios in the first. So let's get some practice in. Sine, cosine, and tangent, cosecant, secant, and cotangent of this triangle, which is a right angle triangle. We know by the triangle, the square mark in that lower left-hand corner. And we're given one side length as 12, the other is 5, and then the hypotenuse is just labeled hypotenuse. So a couple of things. If we're going to take ratios, we need to know the length of the hypotenuse. So before we can begin, we need to find that length. It's a right angle triangle. I know the lengths of 2 sides. I can find the third using Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared is c squared. So let's call A 5 and b 12. And that's going to be equal to c squared. So 5 squared is 25. 12 squared is 144. That's c squared. Well, 25 and 144 is 169. If we take the square root of 169, we find out that c is 13. So the hypotenuse length is 13. Now, let's set up our sine. We know that sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So from this angle, theta, the opposite side across from is 12. The hypotenuse we just found out is 13. So if you go and you punch this into your calculator, 12 divided by 13, you're going to get some weird decimal number. Back a million years ago when dinosaurs roamed the earth and your teachers were in school, these were included in a table in the back of your math textbook to 4 decimal places. So the sine of this angle theta, 12 over 13, which is a perfectly fine answer, or if you divide that out, which sometimes you will for problem-solving purposes, 0.9231. The cosine then is the adjacent divided by the hypotenuse. So that value is the angle, the side length next to the angle 5 divided by 13. Once that in your calculator, you get 0.3846. And the tangent is the opposite over the adjacent. So 12 over 5. And you get 2.4. Now you might be asking yourself, how am I going to keep all these combinations of sides straight? And since about forever, math teachers and math students have been using a mnemonic device, SOHCAHTOA. Sine, opposite, hypotenuse. Cosine, opposite, hypotenuse. Tangent, opposite, adjacent. So if that helps. All right, let's take a look at the other three. The cosecant is the inverse of sine. So that's hypotenuse over opposite, 13 over 12. .0833. The secant is the inverse of the cosine. Hypotenuse over adjacent. 13 over 5. And that's 2.6. The cotangent is the adjacent divided by the opposite. So 5 over 12. And the three inverse, cosecant, secant, and cotangent, are little used. Through our class, you'll mostly be using sine, cosine, and tangent. So in geometry, and perhaps in Algebra 1, you're reminded about certain right triangles that have very common measurements. One where two side lengths are equivalent, an isosceles right angle triangle. Those two angles are both going to be 45 degrees. And you learned a little something about how to quickly calculate side lengths when you had a 45, 45, 90 triangle. The hypotenuse was the square root of 2 times the side length. When you had a 30, 60, 90 right angle triangle, you found out that the hypotenuse was twice the length of the short leg, and the longer leg was square root of 3 times the length of the short leg. Well, it comes in handy when we're doing trigonometric measures as well, sine, cosine, and tangent of those common angles, 30, 60, and 45. And if you look at the opposite hypotenuse, adjacent hypotenuse, and opposite adjacent on these three, you can see that it's pretty easy to quickly calculate some fractional values for sine, cosine, tangent of these common angles. And if you're heading on into, say, for instance, pre-cal, it might not be a bad idea to have this table memorized, or at least if you've memorized the side lengths, you can quickly calculate these. So the sine of a 30-degree angle is 1/2. The cosine of a 30-degree angle is the square root of 3 over 2, which is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. And for the tangent, it's the adjacent over the opposite. The opposite over adjacent, which is 1 divided by the square root of 3. And so when we rationalize that denominator, we get square root 3 over 3. For a 60-degree angle, square root of 3 over 2 is the sine, 1/2 is the cosine, and square root of 3 is the tangent. For a 45-degree angle, the sine and cosine are equal, because those side lengths are equal. Square root of 2 over 2, and then the tangent is equal to 1. Okay, let's get some use putting these trig ratios to work as far as being able to find missing side lengths or missing angles on a right angle triangle. So in example 3a, I have an angle marked at 25 degrees, a side length of 10, and then an unknown labeled x. Using the trig ratios, unlike Pythagorean theorem where I needed two sides to be able to find the third, if I have one angle and one side length, I can find any of the other missing pieces of the triangle. So now, let's take a look at what we have. We have a 25-degree angle. We're given some information about the side opposite, which is x, and the side that is adjacent to it, which is 10. So if my first move is, I say to myself, okay, opposite and adjacent. Which of my trig ratios involves the opposite side and the adjacent side? And if I go back to my table from the first page of the notes, opposite over adjacent, that's the tangent. So I'm going to write tangent of 25 degrees. So opposite side over adjacent side, that's x over 10. Now I need to solve this for x, so I can see that if I multiply both sides by 10, 10 times tangent 25 degrees equals x. Now remember, the tangent of 25 degrees is just a number. However weird it is, it's just a number. So I can go to my calculator. You're going to want to go to your scientific calculator on your phone, so turn it sideways. And you punch in 2,5 and then tan, and that'll give you the tangent of 25 degrees, 0.4663. Then multiply that value by 10. And this side length is 4.66. Now remember, you can't really judge on a sketch, on a worksheet or a test. They always say that don't try to guess, don't eyeball it, use your actual math, but this seems to make sense, that length is about half of this one. So 4.66 is that side length. Let's take a look at another one. I'm given this angle 63 degrees, and now I know some information about x, which is the hypotenuse, and 3, which is the adjacent angle to 63. You say, well, how do I know which one is next to? Well, the hypotenuse is always the longest across from the right angle. Opposite is across from, and across from 63 I know nothing. So this has to be my adjacent. So adjacent and hypotenuse. Okay? Well, that's the cosine. So I'm going to write cosine 63 degrees equals adjacent side over hypotenuse. Now I'm solving for x. So x times the cosine of 63 degrees equals 3. So I can see that x is equal to 3 divided by cosine of 63. I'll type that into my calculator. I get 6.61 for this x value. One more to go ahead and try on your own. Find the value of x in this triangle. Go ahead and pause the video. Give this a shot on your own. Start the video back up and check your work. All right, so go ahead and catch up or check your work here. So I have 37-degree angle. Its opposite side is 7. Its adjacent is x, so opposite over adjacent is tangent. Tangent of 37 degrees equals 7 over x. Solving for x, I find out that 7 divided by the tangent of 37 degrees will give me that value. So x equals 9.29. So it's worthwhile to take some time on your own paper this time to go ahead and write your 3-2-1 summary. 3 things that you learned today, 2 things that you're interested in knowing more about, and 1 thing, a big question that you still have.